Okay, let us revise the yesterday's topic for some time. We have discussed about Java installation and compilation. So when the Java is installed, you get what? You get Java folder. Inside this Java folder, there will be two subfolders. One is JDK, second one is JRE. Inside JDK, you find a folder called bin. Bin folder will be there. Inside, when you open bin folder, you will find a lot of Java developing tools. So we call this as tools, and with respect to command prompt, we usually call this as commands. Commands. Right? Each and every command is going to perform a job. Java C means it is going to take over the compilation. Right? It activates the compiler, and the compilation will be performed. And these are some of the most prominent commands that one can come across. There are many commands, but these are very the commands that we use very repeatedly, right? So this is what we get when you see when you get into JDK, right? When you get into JRE, there will be two subfolders, bin and lib, and inside the lib folder you will find a jar file, rt.jar file, and inside this file, like you will find a lot of predefined dot class files. Predefined means they are defined by the Java people, right? The jar means Java archive, right? And we have also discussed about the internal operation behind the scenes. What happens behind the scenes when you try to compile the Java program? We have seen this things in action external, right? And I have bifurcated the memory space into two parts, C drive and D drive, as per my system. And so usually the operating system will be located in the C drive, and command prompt will be located in the C drive itself. By default, all the installations happens in the C drive. Same thing happened for Java as well. By default, it is going to be installed in the C drive. By default, not only Java, almost all the softwares, right? And in the D drive, we have just assumed, for instance, we have assumed that the program that we have developed is saved in the D drive, right? And now the command prompt operating system is going to communicate with the Java software to compile this program. Till compilation part we have seen yesterday. We completed till compilation part. So we have also seen about command prompt. So Java C tool. So Java C tool is like it's just like a command, and when you just invoke this command, it is going to perform two operations. It's going to search the Java C tool in the operating system. If it is not available in the operating system, it will find in the environment variables. Again, the environment variables are divided into two types: system variables and user-defined variables. This is the path that you can define in the environment variables, so that the command prompt will able to locate this Java C command. Okay. And after which we have also continued discussing about how the compiler will get activated, and what is the exact job of compiler. It finds its actual job is to find the syntax errors and the semantic errors. Syntax is nothing but it will find each and every word. It will scan each and every word. It will ensure each and every word is following the Java rules. As simple as that. Syntactical errors are like scanning the code and finding if there are any errors. If there is any violation in the keywords. If the rules are not followed, it leads to violation. When there is violation, it will inform the programmer to correct those mistakes. And semantic errors are nothing but it will check if the programmer is following this Java structure. Right? And compiler will convert the .java file, readable file, into .class file. Right? This is what I have explained yesterday. And after that, I have just introduced about what why Java is called as platform independent programming language. I have just introduced this part. Today we will continue from here. The compilation part we have completed. Right? And we will have to discuss about execution part. Before even continuing with the execution part, we will discuss about this why Java is called as platform independent. We know that why it is platform independent, but there is some contrast. There are some contrasting explanations like JDKs are platform dependent. JDK, JRE, and JVM. They usually called as their platform dependent, but Java is built on. They are built on top of Java. But why Java is platform independent? This is one of the famous interview questions. We will discuss this and we will proceed with the execution. Proceed with the execution. Okay. So let us understand about what is JDK and why JDK, JRE, JVM or platform dependent. Platform dependent. So it is already clear that Java is a platform independent programming language. This is very clear. Java is platform independent programming. No matter what, Java language is platform independent. But when it comes to JDK, JRE, and JVM, they usually call it as platform dependent. I will explain you why they are called as platform dependent programming language. This is most popular interview question. Why JDK? Or the question can be like this: explain JDK, JRE, and JVM. The question can be like this, but answer will be simple. Questions can be manipulated, but you should understand what is JDK. Then you will be capable to answer. Right? So let me explain what is JDK. JDK is an acronym. You know this acronym for Java Development Kit. JDK is an acronym for Java Development Kit. Right? What we don't know is it is a platform dependent kit. It is a platform dependent. Why it is a platform dependent kit? We don't know that. Right? I will give you the explanation. See, yesterday we have day before yesterday I have explained you how to do the Java, how to download the Java from the website. Right? Whenever you are opening a website, let me open that for you once again. So when you click on, when you enter Java 1.8 download, and this is the usual screen that you come across, right? After clicking here, you see Java SC Development Kit, means Java Standard Edition Development Kit. This is called as JDK. This is called as what? JDK. And under this JDK, there are, it has listed a lot of operating systems. You see Linux operating system, and you also see Mac operating system, right? You also see Windows operating system, right? For each and every operating system, the software is specific to each and every operating system. If I am using Windows OS, I need to ensure that this software is getting downloaded. The right software is getting downloaded because it is very specific. That's why they have given a list of operating systems that one can specifically download. Right? I cannot download this software because this JDK software is for Solaris. I cannot download this and I cannot run this on my Windows. Right? This itself clearly says the Java installer and Java development kit is a platform dependent. This itself clearly says the Java software or the Java development kit is a platform dependent. Right? And again, Java is an acronym for development kit. It is a platform dependent kit. Right? I can also say that it is used to write a Java program, compile the Java program, and execute the Java program. I can also add one more point. It is also called as Java installer. Platform dependent. It is also called as Java installer. And one more point also I can add. The point is it comes with inside Java, inside JDK, inside Java development kit, inside JDK software, inside JDK software, or I can say inside JDK. Let me keep it very simple. Inside JDK, you can find developing tools. Developing tools like what? Java C, Java, Java P, Java, Java Doc. These are the developing tools. You can find developing tools, etc. Second point is you can also find JRE. I will tell you what is JRE, but JRE is a part of JDK. You must understand that. I will tell you what is JRE, but JRE is also part of JDK. You can find JRE, and I can also include, you can find JVM. JVM and JRE, they are the part of JDK. This answer you have to give. Why it is called platform dependent? Because it is called platform dependent because one has to specifically download the software with respect to their operating system. I can also say, in other words, for each and every operating system, in other words, we can also say that in other words, for each and every operating system, we have JDK. Just what I was just explaining about the difference between JDK, JRE, JVM. This is just the continuation from the yesterday's session. Yesterday I had just discontinued here. I'm just taking over from there. That's why it is called as what? Platform dependent programming language. So theory wise it is okay, but let us understand this from the diagrammatic illustration. Right? If I say this is JDK, if I say that this space is for JDK, inside JDK I said we have developing tools. And we have what? Developing tools, and we also have JRE and JVM. So this is JRE. JRE is nothing but Java runtime environment. I will give you the explanation, no worries. So let us understand only about the JDK. You think like this is JDK. This part is meant for developing tools, and this space is meant for JRE. And inside JRE you will find JVM. Inside JRE you will find JVM as well as some libraries. Don't get confused. Explain you each and every block I will be explaining you. So the outermost part is JRE. By looking at this diagram, you will have to what you can easily explain JDK, Java development. Now let's go back to this theory. I will convince you. See, look at this theory now. The theory says JDK, you can inside JDK you can find developing tools like Java C, Java, right? So this space is meant for developing tools. Java development kit. Over here you will find inside JDK you have developing tools. What are they? Yesterday we have been discussing this developing tools since yesterday. They are like Java C, Java, and Java P, and Java H, Java Top. These are the developing tools. So inside JDK there are developing tools as well as you can find JRE and JVM. So this part is meant for JRE. JRE is an acronym for Java Runtime Environment. And inside this JRE, this is the JVM. JVM is an acronym for what? Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual Machine. Okay, Java Virtual Machine. So Java Virtual Machine is there inside the JRE. So by looking at this diagram, we can easily say that JVM, JRE and development tools are part of JDK. You do not have to remember this theory. Just by looking at this diagram, you can easily describe about JDK. JDK is platform dependent. Yes, it is platform dependent because for each and every operating system, the Java development kit is very specific to operating system. If you are using Windows, you have a Windows JDK. If you are using Mac, you have Mac JDK. That's why it is called as platform dependent. Right? Of course, Java language is platform independent. Language wise, no doubts, Java language is platform dependent. But JDK, when you talk about JDK, the software that you are installing is platform dependent. Remember that. Inside JDK, you will see development tools as well as Java runtime environment. And inside Java runtime environment, you will find Java Virtual Machine and predefined libraries. Predefined libraries. Predefined libraries. And we have one more thing called other files. So this part is called what? rp.jar. This is the high level diagrammatic illustration about JDK. Right? By looking at this, you can easily say JDK is nothing but Java development kit, and the same thing I have described here. Nothing else. Right? Secondly, we have understood what is JDK, and let us understand what is JRE. Before even before even getting into JRE, if you are asked about like who is going to use JDK, your answer should be the JDK is used by developers, learners. You want to develop a code from the scratches, developing as well as compiling as well as executing. You want to perform all these operations in your system, developing as well as developing the program, compiling the program, and executing the program. So these three things will be done by usually what? Developers do these three things, and since we are learners, we are beginners, we also do. We also has to follow this three set of process: developing, compiling, and executing the program. So we need JDK. We students we need JDK, and developers need JDK. But clients they don't need JDK. Clients they don't need JDK, so they will just choose JRE. So let me introduce JRE. JRE is an acronym for Java run. That's why it is called as runtime environment. So let me give you a small example. For example, if you're working in a company, in a reputed company, and the company is dealing with some services to a particular website, right? Or the company is developing an application, right? So the company is meant to develop an application, and a customer or client approached the company, and he has asked the company placed a request to develop an application, right? So the company they develop the application, right? So they require JDK to develop the application, because they need to develop application, they need to compile as well as they need to execute. After the successful execution they can transfer the application. They can, what we call it as they can just call the company and they can submit the application, right? So from the company point of view, they don't need the complete Java development kit to execute in their system. For them it is okay to just install JRE, Java runtime environment. Very simple. Let us imagine that this is the company. Company means a single computer where you can develop program, where you can develop software. A single computer where you can develop software. Assume that this is the company. This is company, right? And this company is approached by a customer or a client, and they want this company to develop a software application, right? So to develop software application, the companies they usually have a lot of computers in their systems. They should ensure that this JDK is getting installed, because JDK is where you will develop, will compile, and you will execute the application. The developing part will be complete only with JDK, right? But when you're transferring this application, or when you're submitting this application to the client or the customer in their computer, they don't need JDK. They will have to install only JRE, runtime environment. So what they will do, instead of installing complete JDK, they will just install what? JRE, runtime environment, Java runtime environment. JRE. So this is client or customer. So once you have developed an application, right, what you will do exactly? You don't share the source code. We have seen these things already in our second session of first Java programming. Usually don't transfer the source code. What you will do? You will compile the source code. Right? After compilation, dot class file will be generated. You will just share this dot class file. This dot class file you will share. Now tell me, the compiler will be present in JDK. The compiler will be present in where? Present in JDK. This is the compiler. It will present in where? JDK. Since dot class files will be generated by the compiler. And in JRE, compiler will not be there in JRE. JRE will have only what? JVMs. Because you will want, the client will just execute the program which you have compiled. They don't again do the compilation over and over again. We'll just transfer this dot class file on JVM. On the JVM machine, they will just execute the program. So inside JRE, you will have JVM. That's what this diagram shows, right? Inside Java runtime environment, you see this Java runtime environment. You have what? You have JVM. You have predefined libraries and other files. In the client machine, they will have JVM. So this dot class file will be transferred over the network. It will be transferred over the internet. Isn't it? And client will receive this. Client will receive this dot class file. And the client will execute this dot class file in his JVM machine. And he will see the output. Right? So now I can conclude that JRE is an acronym for Java Runtime Environment. First conclusion. Second conclusion is JRE is also platform dependent, because each and every system varies. The operating system varies from computer to computer. The client may be having many number of computers, many number of laptops. Each and every laptop might be using a different operating system. So it should be portable, right? That's why JRE is also what? JRE is also platform dependent. And it is mostly used by the client machines. And clients don't install JDK. It is not required for them to install JDK. Instead, they will directly install the JRE. They just want to see if the application is getting executed or not. That is the requirement, right? Install JDK. So, and one more conclusion I can give. JRE is as JVM and Java predefined libraries. So inside JRE as JVM and predefined libraries. When you talk about complete JVM, complete JDK, inside JDK you have JVM, and JRE, inside JRE you have JVM. But when you talk only about JRE, you will talk only about this. This is what a JRE machine will have. Now, I hope you will able to explain your interviewer about what is JRE. If they are asking you what is JRE, answer is very simple. JRE is a platform dependent, and the JVM is present inside the JRE. Along with the JVM, let me reiterate, along with the JVM, plus, along with it is not, it doesn't look like plus. Along with JVM, you have files, you have you have predefined libraries, and you have other files. Very simple, isn't it? Looking at this diagram, you can explain it. You can elaborate the explanation. So who uses JRE? Only client uses JRE. Who uses JDK? Developers, beginners, learners, students. Right? the dot class file that after compilation dot class. So where compiler will exist in exist in JDK. JVM exist in JRE. So this is making some sense. Now sir, okay, what JDK is okay, JRE is okay. Now what is JVM? Last question is what is JVM? Let me write it here. Hope you're able to follow me, aren't you? Are you able to follow me? Are you with me? These things are very important. Okay. Now what is JVM? The question is what is JVM? JVM is an acronym for Java Virtual Machine. It is used to execute the dot class files. Third point, it is present inside JRE. It will be in the client machines as well as in the company machines. Why company machines? Company machine has JDK, but inside JDK, JRE is part of JDK, right? If the JRE is part of JDK, JVM is part of JRE. Means this JDK internally has JVM. Hope you're able to understand. But when you talk about specifically about JRE, this is what you talk. This is what you understand. Specifically about JRE. Okay? When you talk specifically about JVM, this is what the JVM. You just talk about this. Java Virtual Machine. Right? Inside Java Virtual Machine, you will find a lot of things. This JVM topic is a very big topic. It is going to take at least 2 hours to understand the JVM. In future, we are going to discuss about this JVM. So inside JVM, you will be having important things, a class loaders. You can just remember, no need to memorize. Class loaders, garbage collector, and a JIT compiler. We will discuss about this in the future. For now, it is not necessary to discuss about this. Just for understanding, I am giving you JIT compiler. So JVM is document from Java. It is used to execute dot class files. It is present inside JRE. It will be in the client machines as well as in the company machines. And the last point is, it is also platform dependent. It's also platform dependent. So everything is platform dependent in Java except Java language. When you talk about language, only Java language is platform independent programming language. Apart from Java, everything is platform dependent. JDK, JRE, and JVM. Okay? So for compilation, we definitely need JDK because compiler is available in the JDK. Right? Because it's our developer job or it's your job to compile the program, because only after the compilation dot class files will be generated. This dot class file can be transferred to a network, or you can execute in your own system. You can do either ways, right? But if you are working for a particular client, you don't share the source code. Source code means the direct code that anyone can read. Source code, you don't share the source code. You compile the source code and this dot class files will be shared. You understand? Source code will be source code will never be shared. For security reasons, source code will never be shared. We'll compile the source code with help of compiler. So let me compile this with help of compiler and generate dot class file and share the dot class file. This is the network. Right? Very important question. If you're lucky enough, let's not talk about the lucky. You will definitely get this question. Definitely will get this question. Question is why JDK, JRE, JVM platform dependent? One way. Other way is what is JDK, JRE and JVM? Question can be in either ways, but the answer is same. Just read this. Before even reading this, just understand this diagram. If you remember this diagram, these things you can use your own words to give this explanation, But remember, the JDK, JRE and JVM, they are platform dependent. Platform dependency is there. Right? Making sense? Right? Samyukta, Sushma, making sense? Okay, now let's discuss about the execution part. Discuss about execution. The compilation was completed yesterday. Compilation was completed yesterday. Let's discuss about what execution. So let me save this. Okay, let me write it. Let me draw it once again. Okay. So this is my memory space in my operating system. My memory space is divided into, bifurcated into, or partitioned into two. One is C drive, partitioned to two drives. One is C drive and the second one is just D drive. Let me save this. Okay, let me take the yesterday's diagram. So C drive, D drive, and yesterday till we have discussed about the compilation part. Compilation part was completed successfully yesterday. We have also understood the closure. Okay. Now tell me one thing. Now listen here. Let me open Notepad. So let us let me take two classes. Class A. I have taken a class A and I have taken a class in the name of sample. Two classes I have taken. Right. So for compilation, usually before even compiling this program, we need to save this program. Right. So let us save this program. Save as. And the location is the same location, Java 3. In the D drive Java 3, I am saving this as sample.java. It has been saved successfully. So it has been saved successfully. The file name is sample.java. But today I have taken two classes, class A as well as class sample. Class A I have taken and I have taken class sample. Right? So now we need to perform compilation. For the compilation, the command is java c space file name.java. Let me open command prompt. So before even starting the compilation, need to ensure the correct. Need to ensure that the command prompt is pointing to the current location. current directory. So the file is saved inside the D drive. Inside the D drive, there is a folder called Java 3. The command prompt should also point to the same drive. So let me change the directory. In order to jump to D drive, just give the drive name and semicolon and colon. So it has been switched to D drive. Inside the D drive, there is a folder called Java 3. Right? I cannot give like this. I need to give cd space Java 3. cd means change directory. Jump into Java 3. cd is an acronym for change directory, but you can understand in this like this. Just get into Java 3. So now the command prompt is pointing to Java 3 folder. The compilation command is what? Java c space file name. File name is sample.java. When I do this, what happens? This Java C command, the compiler will try to locate this Java C command. First, it will locate in the operating system. It will not able to find this in operating system. Secondly, it will see in the environment variables. You have seen these things yesterday. As soon as it finds this command in the environment variables, this is what I am talking about. First, it will find in the operating system command list. It will not identify there. It cannot be located there. Secondly, it will find in the environmental variables. Inside environment variables, we have system variables and we have user variables. Inside this, it will find the path. Inside this path, the C program file Java JDK pin, it can identify Java C command. So when it identifies Java C command, it will activate compiler. Once compiler is activated, the source file will be taken into the inside the compiler and source file will be converted to .class file. I'm just repeating the things that we have done yesterday. So let me hit the enter button. The compilation is successful, the cursor will keep blinking. There will be no errors. The compilation is not successful, there will be errors. And again, we can confirm that two .class files has to get generated, isn't it? Because we have two classes, class A. So let me take you to that folder, Java 3. And let me delete this once again. These are files that has been accumulated since yesterday. That's why the confusion. Okay. Let me save that once again. File, save as sample.java. Saved. Next file. After saving, compilation. Java C. If you see here, two .class files are generated. A class file, sample class file. So for no doubts, compilation is successful and two .class files are generated. Why two .class files are generated? Because in the source file there are two classes, class A and class sample. That's why two .class files are generated. Now we are going to talk about the execution. In order to perform the execution, very important, in order to perform the execution, we will use a direct command, Java space. In this case, we will have to ensure that the right .class file is getting loaded. Right .class file, correct .class file. What is the correct .class file? The correct .class file is the what? Main .class file. So which class has the main method? The sample class has the main method. How many .class files are created? Two .class files are created. I need to load this sample.class. Hope you're able to understand. I cannot load this. What happens if I load? Let us understand what happens. Let us see the consequences of loading the .class file which has no main method. If I load this, see a.java space. Just I am giving you. What it says, main method not found in class A. Please define the main method as public static void. So it is asking us, it is asking the developers, hey developer, please load the main class. Please load the class file which has main method. Right? Previously, as I have loaded the class file which does not have main method. We just no, I just lied. Right? Compiler, I mean the JVM has found that the main method is not inside it, not inside this class. So I need to ensure that the class file that I am loading here should have the main method. Making sense? Right? So let me write that here. I am using this space. Space is meant for execution. After compilation, the developers should perform the execution. Perform the execution. And in order to perform the execution, the developers need to use the following command. Following command where? In the command prompt. What is the command? This is the command. This is the command. Note. What is a note? The class that has the main method should be loaded. And in order to achieve that, you will need to follow the syntax. What is the syntax? Very simple. Java space main class name. Use the class name that has main method. Why it is like that? Now we will understand. Right? So we will start understanding from the compilation part. So we are transferring the source code. This is the source code. Tell me how many files we have in the source code. We have two files, right? We have two classes. One is class A. Second one is class sample. And inside class sample, we have placed the main method, isn't it? Class sample. Inside the class sample, we have placed main method, public static void main. I am keeping it very simple. Public static void. PSVM. I have just using the acronym. Right? So this is a source code, and the source code needs to be compiled, right? For that we will use compiler. The duty of the compiler is to check for syntax errors and semantic errors. Right? So after compilation, it is going to generate two dot class files. Two dot class files will be generated. Compiler will generate two dot class files. Let us assume that these two dot class files are kept in this bucket. So the two dot class files that has been generated has been kept inside these buckets. One is a dot class. Second one is what? Sample dot class. Yes. Now listen. Now, now the JVM comes into picture. Dot class files are generated successfully. Now JVM comes into the picture. So just imagine that this is JVM. JVM. Right? So you as a developer has to load the dot class file that has the main method. So if you, you have to load the class where you have placed the main method, right? In order to achieve that, you need to give the simple command. The command is Java space main class name. Right? Whatever the class you are giving it here, that class will be loaded. If I am giving it sample.java, if I am giving it here as sample.java, not Java, if I am giving it a sample here, you don't use complete class name. Just you will give this, you will just give the class name, no extension, just class name. You give sample here. The sample.class file will be loaded inside the JVM system. Now listen. The sample.java file will be loaded inside the JVM. From here, sample.java file will get loaded inside the JVM. The name that you are giving here next to the Java command, that file will be loaded. What happens after, once soon as it is loaded, the JVM is going to create a main thread. Inside this, a main thread will be created. Just assume that this is the main thread. Thread is nothing but the control flow. It's not like an ordinary thread, it is just like a control flow. So let me name this as what? Main thread. Not this. So this main thread will find if we have placed if there is main method in this sample.class. If it finds the main method, all the instructions will be executed one by one from the main method. If it is not finding the main method, what happens? It will throw the error like what? This. This error will be thrown to the console. Right? If you are loading a.class file, loading the a.class file is nothing but if you are giving your just the class name A. We are using class name A here. This a.class will be loaded, and again the main thread will be created. Main thread will try to see if there is main method declared in this particular class. If it is not finding any main method, this error will be thrown. If it finds a main method, all the instructions inside the main method will get executed. As simple as that. Right? The class name that we are trying to give here, that dot class file will load. Now tell me one thing. Even though we have a number of dot class files, even though if you are creating as a developer, if you are creating n number of dot class files, do you think that all the dot class files will be loaded inside the JVM? No, it will not be loaded. Only the dot class file that you are specifying. Specification means nothing but that you are declaring here. That dot class file will be loaded, and after loading the dot class file, it's a duty of the JVM to produce main thread, and main thread will check if the developer has placed the main method inside the loaded dot class file. Making sense? This is the first stage of what? Execution. Execution is not yet completed. Making sense? Right? So how many dot class files will be loaded inside the JVM? Only one dot class file can be loaded inside the JVM. After compilation, only one dot class file explicitly in the sense you as a developer, you explicitly can load only one dot class file. Even though number of dot class files, there are chances that there may be number of dot class files that will be placed inside this bucket, but you as a developer can load only one dot class file. That dot class file should be what? It should have the main method inside that, right? Making sense? Amikta, Yashwant, yeah. The compilation and execution. You want me to continue or can I continue tomorrow? I will continue tomorrow because you take notes. When we have a we will require another 14 minutes to understand this execution. We do not want to just complete top of the topic. So tomorrow we will complete, right? Okay. I will share the recordings, right? So thank you for your time. Huh? You both have a great day. Tomorrow also join. Just one join exactly at 8 o'clock. You are missing a lot of topics. Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you, guys. Take care. Huh? We will see tomorrow.